Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought a very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
you human
on the point of order.
Honorable
No agreement with the EU, but
Welcome to yet another exciting edition of Sports Talk here on Atlantic Television Network. On this edition of the program, Sports Minister in Nigeria inaugurates main organizing committee for the national local sports. Basketball, Rivers Hoopers extend winning streak. In football, Man City into the last 16 of the UEFA Champions League. Details of these and many Welcome back. Sports Talk here on Atlantic Television Network, and I have with me Epo Tempo.
It's a delightful morning. Good morning, Mr. Siri.
And we'll go into the studio as usual. We'll bring you local stories first. The Minister of Sports and Development here in Nigeria, Senator John Ewang Eno, only yesterday inaugurated the main organizing committee of the 22nd National Sports Festival, slated to take place in Ogun State early next year. It looks like catching it very early. We've seen a situation where committees are set up, and the charge here is start early so as to deliver an excellent sports festival.
Important. I mean, you remember that just after the one that was hosted last, the 21st edition, Sonny Dari building the process for this particular one, and from there, and getting to see that the main committee has been, but I think they started it early. Remember that a few months ago, we saw the local organizing committee, from Ogun State. The state governor inaugurated them in preparation for this particular one. So Now that we have
the sports festival, like I mentioned, the last 21 edition has suffered one hiccup or the other, basically based on the funding between these two bodies. What is being done this time around to ensuring that funds do not hinder the quality of the proposed National Sports Festival, and we know equally that we are fast into an arrangement where sports now is seen more from the point of business than patronage. What is the task before this committee in terms of ensuring that there is adequate funding for this National Sports Festival coming up next year?
I think it's part of the reason why they also inaugurated the committee early. Yes, government alone cannot shoulder the burden of a national sports festival. Even the state can only do part of what they need to do, and prepare the grant for the sports ministry to come take over. But they can get some funding elsewhere. If they partner with some brand, like what we saw in Delta State, where a lot of brands came in to partner with the state and paid some huge amount of money to support the program, that will be fine. And I think that it behoves on the committee, the local organizing committee and the main organizing committee, to put their hands together. We saw that challenge very glaring, where they have 60-40 ratio, and at some point the state did their part. The federal government were unable to complete. We had that challenge in the last time in Delta, and at the middle of the competition, the LOC had to revote against, saying that they are going to stop the tournament if this was not done. So I think that it's good now. Look for areas that can help you get fund, and ensure that. In fact, what we see in Western Climes is you get to see more of private sponsorship of some of these events, and it makes it easier. Why the government and the sponsors, I mean the state, prepares the ground. We see more of private partnership, and for me, that should be the way to go. But regardless, we'll keep our finger crossed on how things are done. But I know for sure that if the able men that have been appointed to the committee deliver as promised, then we'll not have some of this funding challenge.
Well, talking about the National Sports Festival coming up next year in Ogun State, issues of funding should be adequately looked into because the last 21 edition of the Sports Festival has suffered one level of scarcity or paucity of funds or the other. After all, in this dispensation, it is believed that sports should be approached more from the business perspective than that of patronage, and we just hope that this committee set now will properly liaise with the private sector in driving funds towards the host, rather than waiting for government to bring funds to sponsor the National Sports Festival. Talking about the National Sports Festival, reminds me of a concession coming in from the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports. We are told that there's a concession arrangement for the National Stadium in Lagos. Over the years, this stadium has been moribund, but the former sports minister, remember, Sunday Dare, had actually begun the process of ensuring that the decaying of this edifice is put to a halt, and the only way to do that was to bring in the private sector, to try to revamp the facility. And I think, John, the new sports minister seems to be continuing the direction set by the former sports minister, ensuring that that concession process is completed.
Concession of the edifice is not a bad idea because in that truly, in the last decades, we've seen how dilapidated that structure is, and I mean, it leaves more to be said. But what the stakeholders are saying is, if you are sanctioning a place, there is need to be transparency. Sometimes the government, in their bid to ensure that this is done, they do it the way they feel. But sometimes in the eye of the common man feels that they want to know everything about everything, and that's where the challenge is. So I think that because of the nature of the place, there are bidders, those who are interested to really, look into that place. It's also very possible that interested parties are even the ones who are making this claim. But I think that the government, in their wisdom, the sports ministry, they know what they want. They are currently looking for, who can help this edifice. Glaring how we saw Dangote came to help the Abuja Stadium, rejuvenated that place, and today we are now that place is back to its shape. the same thing they want to do now. But have we gotten a partner that really want to look into this? I don't think the government have enough money to spend on that edifice. But somehow the stakeholders are saying, if you are concessioning that arena, then let us know what is happening. If there are interested parties, let us know. The process should be transparent. I think that's what we are looking for. But just maybe, I still feel that we are yet to get those partners, because the moment we get, it's no news. It can't be hidden. Just maybe I think that that's part of the reason. So on one hand, the stakeholders are feeling there is lack of transparency. We don't know what is happening, and we don't know who are the interested parties that want to really bid for this contract. Whereas in the other way, the sports minister are saying, okay, we are still looking for a partner because we don't have the funding, and we cannot use government funding, to project for you to get contractors or to bid for this one. So I think that's where the discrepancy comes. Otherwise, all we want is that someday we're going to get back the national stadium back to its style.
Transparency is the key for me, and I believe that if there's transparency in the arrangement, the concession arrangement is not a bad idea. These facilities needs to be revamped. The last time last we know of the national stadium, that it was built about 1972. That's a long time from now. And in the last decade or even two, the facility has been moribund, has not been in use. And now there's need at least to upgrade the facility and put it to use, and not just for footballing reasons as well, for serious commercial use. And all over the world, we've seen situations where these facilities are put into more than one use in a bid to maintaining the structure. And I think if it goes by the concession arrangement, commercial interests would definitely ensure that the facility is top-notch and maintained at every point in time. So I think the sports minister is doing the right thing, but there has to be transparency in the concession arrangement. Let's go to cricket now, and some good news in cricket this hour, because the Nigerian senior men cricket team called the Yellow Green have improved on the International Cricket Council ranking, T20 ranking. They move as from 42, now they are number 38 in the world, and of course seven highest ranked team in Africa. The Cricket Council in Nigeria of recent has been involved in one activity or the other, and because of their performance, especially at the West African Trophy tournament in Lagos, they have now improved by about 4 places, on the international ranking, and it's courtesy of wins over Ghana, Sierra Leone, and Rwanda, nations known for better cricket performance.
I think it's a cheering one for us to see that we're gradually elevating. 2 days ago we talked about doing a strong block when it comes to cricket in Pata and his team for all they have done so far to elevate cricket.